competitively much. But I know that in auto match he's been very, very good. So I would like to I'd like to hypothesize this is going to be a good game. He's already made it this far, so clearly he's can throw his weight around a little bit. Can he match up against Talisman? Who knows?
Well, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. I mean, Talisman, by the way, has ranked 4th in tournaments 4 times in a row in ESL. He's been doing okay. He's been very good. He's just not been able to beat the Lovenests of the world in the final stages. And because it takes him a hell of a long time to win sometimes, it's been taking him upwards of 50 minutes to win certain games. He's often left himself really tired by the time he gets to semi-finals, which means why he's ended up being 4th place quite a few times.
Yeah, it's a stamina game, and a lot of the top players are doing this. Do you know what I mean? They've been through the routine so many times, and Talisman is just branching into that kind of thing. Really, I imagine for the first time. So we still expect that once he gets used to it, he could even go even further.
Yeah, exactly. It is about getting used to it, getting used to that competitive scenario and making sure you play your utmost. Because in auto match, of course, it's a mixed bag. You can be up against a complete noob 1 second, love nest the next second. So in tournaments, however, it's just an incredible escalation of competition. You start off against noobs, and by the end of it, you're playing the world's best Company of Heroes 2 player. So you really need to make your endurance and your stamina work for you in a tournament setting.
Well, the first parts of the game have been interesting. Walther actually opting to go to the left-hand side of the map to take the 1VP and fuel. I quite like this, to be honest, because it's easier for him to deal with that side. There's just a little cut off there. Doesn't have much, connecting territories to the fuel. He can sit there, and of course, Axis do favor long-range engagements quite well.
They do.
So he'll have that natural, extra bit of advantage when he's dealing with conscripts.
That's always the dynamic with Angerville. It's such a wide open western flank that as Wehrmacht you can take advantage of your big long range units, such as the MG in this case. But you need to protect your cutoff, and you need to protect the northern point of that hedge as well, because they can flank there. So at this point, the MG is going to open up against the combat engineer and stop the cutoff happening. So that's pretty much showing us what I was on about there.
Yeah, I think needs something to spot for that MG really, especially at that range if he's going to be using that to cover. It looks like the positioning may have been a little bit bad there. Talisman could opt to get some of these houses at the moment. Instead, he's going to put a lot of pressure on that VP. Taking the houses is a really, really strong thing to do, especially from the south. If you can get those houses on the north, especially when your opponent's gone to the left, you take a double drain straight away with full resources. It's not that difficult once you get your tier 3 to push on the left-hand side.
So we are in an engagement where conscripts aren't at a disadvantage. That isn't quite long range, so the Mosinagats do currently have the same as the Car 98s there. Looks like Walther did manage to keep his cutoff. He had to reposition the MG, but he has got it back.
Careful with that Gren, because that can, even with the health it's got, you can take RNG wipes like that.
Yeah, those 80 hit points can get taken very quickly if shots land. It's a very RNG orientated game, and that's why it stays exciting. It's why you need a lot of attention in Company of Heroes. You can't just look at a situation, mathematically assess it based on your experience. You have to constantly monitor everything going on if you've got multiple engagements, and that's why it gets really tiring after a while. So you've got a Maxim of Talisman going straight for this large house here.
Walther just made a mistake setting up the MG there. It looked like it may have been an attack move, but the Flamer engineers have just whipped out of the house and decided to burn that squad down. Nice that he's got a little bit of protection there from those engineers.
Yeah, it was good because obviously the combat engineers were on negative cover, so the pioneers could push them away, and the combat engineers had to leave the situation. They couldn't remain in that particular state. So here we go. The Maxim, however, is under heavy fire. Mortar round coming in. It does dodge it. However, the grenades are going to try and shoot it on retreat. Probably get the kill there. We've got one 4-man squad that could be taking this Maxim in due course, which would be a big win for Walther.
Be running for that, to be honest, because there's very little chance of the engineers getting it under suppression.
Also, you cannot pick up a weapon whilst you're suppressed, so it's difficult for sure, and they're just going to sustain further damage. There they go. Will they take it? Yes, they take it, but they get wiped!
Yeah.
I'm going to
That's
say
a great idea. He was just waiting for the suppression to break off when that when that rifle nade went in. And this is what I was saying, by the way. Walther is a really good player, and he's starting to overpower the Soviets already at the start of the game.
I'd argue
That's
in that.
two squad wipes off of Talisman. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. With regards to that particular play, that was bad play from Talisman. He should not have tried to cap whilst he was in the view of that MG, and he just, suffered for it. One of those situations where you just have to kind of give up on that MG, and he didn't, and he ended up losing a squad, and it was just kind of obvious that it was going to happen. Here we go, though. He's going to try and take the cut-off, and it is currently unguarded, so he will do that.
Such a great rifle grenade as well, forces the mortar off, so this Maxim is going to be able to get away really easily now. Although it's deciding to take fire against the flames in the building, so this Maxim actually go down to that. Lucky.
I was lucky. He's going to take the house, though. He's just got a little tiny bit of distance to go to get to the door, and he does get there indeed. So Walther might be able to swing to the east now, Dan. So this is what happens on angle. If you lose the west and cut off, you can go and take the east, and it looks like he's doing that.
The thing is, though, Talisman is trying to do a decap on the strategic point. I don't know if he realizes, though, that because he's lost territory on the strategic point slightly south of that, Walther is still connected to the entire map. The strategic point is doing nothing for him. It needs to be aware that that isn't a true cutoff anymore.
Yes, exactly. Now he's connected that southeast quadrant cutoff. He's actually got all the map in his possession. Quite funny.
Talisman has one strategic territory at the moment, and Walther playing as Oster is playing an incredible game right now.
He's got a very German-sounding name, so I'm sure that's got something to do with it. He must have healing up in his base, hence the retreat. Yep, there you go. It's teching for cost of 60 munitions as we speak.
I would say this is quite DevM-esque at the moment. He's very, very aggressive. Huge infantry build. MGs, of course, one MG is a pickup, but with two MGs, he's going to be able to do like a lot of work point onwards.
I'm loving the fact that people are playing a lot more Wehrmacht recently, because some people say, oh, they're underpowered in the current meta. They're just not. If you play them aggressively and you know what you're doing, you can really make them work for you. And they're such a beautiful faction when you make them work for you. Ooh, we've had a commander choice there, Dan.
Yeah, well, not a recent one either. It's been there for a little bit of time now.
Oh, sorry. But the guards are coming out at least.
Yeah, I've heard some interesting things about guards, to be honest. I've also seen guards do some interesting things. They really can turn the tables in some situations.
You say interesting, is there some bug that we're not aware of, or...?
No, it's still the fact that the PTRSs are able to get one-shot kills on models. So when you are playing against the Oster, you do have a larger than you'd expect chance of just wiping a model flat out. So once you upgrade them with the DP28s, they are, they're just really, really effective against four-man squads, basically.
Speaking
just
of
see it happen down on the left. If you can see that, they're just wiping models with the PTRSs. It's not as strong as it used to be, when PTRSs were broken, but it can just turn the engagement really quickly.
And they look like really crap superheroes as well. It's worth saying. It's one of those odd things. When the Red Army started off in World War II, they had no kind of insignias of rank whatsoever, Dan. It was all kind of like brutally boring, and nobody had any kind of chevrons or anything. By the end of World War II, you had guards, Dan, with capes, like special insignia, special hats, special everything. They had bloody capes by the end of World War II, Dan. That's how much it escalated. The old military ways came back into the things for the Russians.
Capes make them look intimidating.
They do. And they're guards, they're the elite of the elite.
Kind of, this is not pre-superheroes, but we're getting around that time when superhero comics were starting to come in.
Yeah, you had Batman, didn't you? And he actually shot people in the original comics and stuff. Weird.
Maybe this is where it stems from.
Maybe. Right, back to the game. In terms of, we've had a bit of a lull in activity. They're currently feeling each other out. We've got one fuel connected for both players, so they currently have what they need. And actually, in terms of victory points, it's dead even, with one being neutralised. It's all about where Talisman goes from here right now. Tier 3 is now built.
Talisman's made a good decision, I think, by getting the guards out, and he's actually given up on that kind of Maxim build he was going for, and is just focusing on mobile infantry. Walther, a pretty large tier 1, tier 2 build as well, so it looks like he doesn't want to be outmatched at any point. It it just suggests to me that he's looking to get something like a tiger out. So I think that's where that's going. You know, a lot of infantry suggest building up the command points as much as possible, bringing out the tiger as early as possible, and having it accessible straight away. Otherwise, he will get pushed into mobile defense depending on what Talisman does with this tier 3
Well,
T70 he's about to hit. So
I swear
could
to
happen.
God, I cast Walther about 2 years ago, and he went for a fast tiger. I'm not. I kind of forget after about a year who I've cast or whatever. I swear to God, I've cast Walther before, and he did get a fast tiger, but it was like really early coming years too. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that just came back into my brain. Do you know what I mean, Dan? Like a strange
Yeah.
little thing that went off when you said fast tiger. I was like, Walther, fast tiger. That's happened before. Deja vu.
Yeah, you know, he was one of these players that actually excelled when just playing purely with commander call-ins was more of a thing. So I think it's a strategy that rings out with him, and he still plays it quite well, to be honest.
So here we go. We've got a bit of a standoff right now. The Wehrmacht are taking very prepared position-orientated play. The T-70's pushed off the west and will continue to do so because there's no packs on the field. However, Dan, there's a Puma.
Also, he did get forced into mobile defense. I don't think he needed to do that, if I'm honest.
No, me neither. I think that's a very odd decision. And we'll see if it pays for himself, though. Now, don't the Puma's on the onslaught. Where are the guards and all this? They're not in position, so the Puma probably will get the kill. Or the Puma, for the people that want to hear me say it the German way.
Yeah, I mean, guard's horribly out of position. T-70 had no support on the right-hand side, sorry, on the left-hand side whatsoever. Puma was just allowed to go straight in there. I still don't know if that's the right decision, although it has paid off for him, which is nice. You know, where's he going to go now? Is he going to continue with Pumas in a heavy tier 1 build, or because he's going to have to deal with the ISU later?
Oh, ISU 152, not traditionally an Angerville-orientated unit, but if he destroys those big hedges and also the concrete wall, he can make it a map that suits him with a bit of terraforming. Oh, there we go. We got the MG42 light machine gun goes down.
Yeah. Saw that.
Yeah, I did. The guards could take it, the weapon right now.
I don't know if they have the free weapon slot on that squad at the moment.
No, that's a good point.
I think, yeah, both of them seem like they might be upgraded with DP28s, so I don't think they'll have the free one. Of course, conscripts though.
So that's a big find for Talisman. Now, the Vet 2 conscript with an LMG, I mean, that's going to help him out a lot. What a nice to and fro game we've got done.
It's really good, yeah. I'm a bit disappointed with this commander choice though. It wasn't necessary. It's not often, you know, that usually you get forced into mobile defense. It's not like a preemptive play, and you know, something like Stuggies that could come out from the mechanized yet available would be wonderful. They're dealing with the guards, and you know, there's no AT on the field. The 70 could still be countered by that.
Don't guards penetrate Stuggies? I thought they did.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good way of clearing infantry. It's a very good.
Yeah, true, very true.
Do you know what I mean? So, considering Talisman's build is comprised entirely of infantry, and it could have dealt with the T-70.
You are right, actually. I would have liked to have seen Stuggies. They would have been cool. They're always cool.
Pumas are a one-trick counter. You know, you do it to get rid of a tier 3 when you're behind on fuel. But if you look at Walther, he's got tons of it.
Can we just admit, though, we're just sick of mobile defense because Wehrmacht go it so often?
I'm being dead serious. I think that's a huge mistake because now he's got a Puma which can do nothing against the build of Talisman. This thing's just rolling around, just annoying people with no real effect. You know, we could have had a multi-purpose unit come on and still be saving up for the Tiger. And the best thing he's going to be able to get out now is...
yeah. Or he gets tier 4 and he gets a Panther. It's always an option.
I'm hoping he does.
Talisman is solidifying the east. He's got a demo in position. He's got guards and Maxims taking up big garrisons. In the west, he's making a push. He's got his one Maxim and a conscript. Not the LMG conscript, but regardless, he's trying a little push and probe in the west. Rifle nade goes in. Oh, it went on the Maxim, so he didn't have to dodge with the conscripts.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
There we go.
I want to use your term ebb and flow here because they really are just taking side to side, and you know, like the stages of the game, mid-tier comes out from Soviets, countered by Commander, you know, call in. Uh, just going up in stages, and both players are losing units, you know, and gaining territory, which is really, really cool that they are.
Yeah, terms like ebb and flow and slither of health. I mean, people have been casting this game for so long. I stole them off somebody else, so you're more than welcome to steal them off me.
Oh, right.
The only one I invented for Company Heroes 2 casting was marauding. I started saying marauding, then Fatal Saint started saying it. I promise you that I said it first. That unit's marauding around the centre, and then in the next TFN cast, he said it. And I was like, you stole that off me! It's the only thing that I've ever given. The only phrase.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
It is, yeah. We've got Magpies with his spicy Danzak. I mean, what phrases have you introduced for us? Oh, I know. Psychological mind meta? Anybody?
I don't know.
Mortar versus mortar confrontation here. A lot of indirect fire flying around. You'll notice the ceilings of most buildings are currently a patchwork of fallen tiles.
Well, I think at this stage of the game we can be quite confident that Walther is going to be facing up against an ISU. It doesn't look like Talisman is keen on building the next tier or also bringing out anything else from tier 3, so that kind of suggests that he is going to go straight into that. And I think that's risky, to be honest, because although it's a big unit when it does come out, you know, it could be flanked. It leaves itself vulnerable as the only vehicle on the field. At least there's plenty of guards to help, but it's not a certain.
Nice flank from combat engineers coming into the cutoff. You've also got a command tank now coming on. One interesting thing I need to say at this point, 350 victory points remaining for Walther, and the eastern flank has a lot of demos waiting for him, so he will have to go to the eastern flank eventually to get at least one of those victory points, and there's demos waiting for him when he does.
Hopefully he's smart enough to go over there with a Minesweeper, because at this stage of the game, an important thing for anybody playing this game really, you know, if you are pushed off the map, if you do leave that side of the map unattended for a period of time, make sure you go back over there with Minesweepers, because your opponent, if you know, if they know how to take advantage of situations, will have planted mines there. You can guarantee that.
And talking of which, right now he's doing that exact thing. He's currently minesweeping the east, and that's what he needs to do. He's also taking the victory point there for good measure. Elsewhere in the west, we've got an interesting confrontation. It looks like most of Talisman's infantry and support weapons have been pushed away.
This is really nice. Walther is, as we say, you know, like, totally taking advantage of his position on an open plane on the left-hand side, and then he's just tempting the right-hand side, but putting so much pressure on the area outside of his base that it's just distracting Talisman.
SU-76 with a fourth shot in on the Panzer IV command tank after he's now attack grounding through the smoke. We had an anti-tank grenade go in and damage the engine. There we go, another shot hits, one shot remaining, and it would go down. He's going to go down the bonus cover road and try and get a shot in, Dan. What do you think about this? This is ballsy. Oh no.
I think it could happen, to be honest.
Oh no, he's going for the barrage on the mortar instead. He chickened out, in my opinion.
Yeah, he could have made that.
I think so. Oh, there's a Puma though, he's got to worry about the Puma.
Great bait. And sensible decision here, he got out when the guards were spotted, so sensible plays. Didn't go for it, didn't waste it. Sign of a very good player. Just want to let you know as well, demo went off on the right hand side, but the Minesweepers are the ones that dealt with that.
Nice, that's exactly what we were talking about. So the demo hype did not need to be hyped. The only remaining demo, by the way, is on the yellow house in the northern area.
I'd say that Walther could probably, if we're going to speculate, you know, he could be popping those engineers into the green cover position that was left by the crater. Would help him to cap whilst units are responding.
It's omnidirectional green cover when you get into a crater. It's one of the few times you've got cover from every direction. It's always nice.
Here you're seeing those guards, by the way, do that insane damage.
Will they kill him on retreat? No, they lose line of sight just in the nick of time from the Grenadier's standpoint. So SU-76 and Guards, only anti-tank that Talisman currently possesses. Obviously, in 3.5 command points time, we'll have his ISU-152.
Walther, by the way, is escalating to battle phase 2.
Nice.
So this is exactly what we wanted to see from him. It looks like we may even go up to battle phase 3 for a Panther, would be quite nice. But of course, he's already got that kind of pure anti-tank unit, so Panzer IV may be more appropriate for him here.
Interesting indeed. You think he's not going to go straight?
So sincere.
No, sorry. Okay, absolutely, Dan. Great point. Is that better?
Yeah, sure.
I was only half listening. You only half listen to me most of the time when I'm doing analysis. You're like, then you
That is not
sometimes
true,
repeat
I
the
guess.
exact same thing I said. No, I'm joking.
I understand your pain. Camera casting is difficult like that, so it's alright.
We're men. We're only meant to be able to do two things at once. Well, Clue, she's managing to, I can see on your camera, do three things at once. That is impressive. Didn't know he had that talent. Alright, so we're going to have a trip cap in Talisman's favour all of a sudden. And you got to consider 330 victory points for Walther. He's got to get back into this somehow.
I think he's still in a good position, even if he just rolls back off his territory a little bit. He's still has a very good army composition. He just needs to make some good pushes. He's made some great plays already this game. I'm confident that he can still do it. He's not seen any huge losses or whatever. It was, by the way, going up to battle phase 3. So yeah, maybe a Panther.
Ooh, a Panther, yeah, that's what I was thinking. When you started saying Panzer IV, oh god, look, we got the... Yeah, the Minesweepers went in the building and got killed by the demo!
Wow.
That's not what they wanted
Great
to
demo
happen.
placement. Really, really good. Oh, by the way, check out the Puma. Catches the Su-76 completely off guard.
It does indeed, but doesn't seem to be able to get the pathing to work for it. And the Su-76 is getting around the building. Managed to get around the shed as well. Puma will probably get one big shot in. No, won't even manage to do that. And it probably had to be a bit careful of mines, even though there weren't any.
Again, a really sensible decision not to push that, because he could have gone in for it and probably killed it, to be honest. There's nothing that can snare in the vicinity at all. Talisman had to retreat a squad of guards just to get back there.
Builds a third guard squad as well.
It's a sensible decision, a really sensible decision.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right in what you're saying, that there was nothing to snare it, but he didn't know that, and I think that's why, as you say, he made the right decision.
Not making the right decision by keeping this MG in this engagement line.
Oh, he's going to lose his Vet 3 combat engineer there. MG in engagement. Yeah, I can't believe he lost his Vet 3 combat engineer. That's a real heavy loss, you know. Not only does it have fast repair time, it can repair under fire without sustaining damage. It's such a powerful unit, in my opinion.
It has got great veterancy unlocks. That's all about it.
Oh, big rifle nade goes in on the guards. They do manage to dodge. You got another guard squad coming in, but they're going to be attacked by the LMG-42. Maxim's going to help contend with them. Looks like he's using the half track to reinforce. Dan will be happy with that.
I think that's a great idea.
Exactly.
Especially with the manpower he's floating as well. Looks like it's a little bit far behind though. You could probably do with getting that up a bit closer to the engagement.
Why don't you just click 425 manpower Ostrip and reserves straight away and get them on the field? Might get some LNGs as well. It's easy to say that as a backseat caster.
Well, I was actually worried for a while that Talisman wouldn't be able to tech up to, well, I say tech up, I wouldn't be able to call in the ISU, because it seemed for a while he was only on plus 13 fuel a while back. And this huge, weight into the guards has done such wonders for him.
It really has. He's managed to keep things at bay with guards, and that's allowed him seemingly to be able to just accumulate his scout fuel resources and make them work for him. Saying that, he does currently have the Eastern one in his possession. He's laying mines on the road, which is never a bad decision. Ooh, nice choice from Tier 4, Dan. Have you seen that from Walther?
It's just started to build, hasn't it? I don't know how I feel about that one, if I'm honest.
Well, he's against 2 mortars and 2 machine guns, so he is against support weapons, so a Panzerwerfer is always powerful.
I can guarantee you that he's not going to take the ASU down with the Puma.
With the Panzer, yeah, exactly. Or the Panzer.
Single Puma and no AT guns.
Well, he doesn't know it's coming, though, does he? He probably... I don't know what he's thinking.
If he spotted the guards, he should be suspecting. I mean, there's one Tier 3 unit on the field 25 minutes into the game. If you can't tell that it's going to be an ISU, that's a problem. And this is a huge mistake. I mean, maybe what he can do is weaken the manpower down. If he can get rid of the guards, excellent. If he can even maybe get rid of the mortars and start beating all the other units down with the reinforcement truck on his side, maybe there's a chance that he can tech up to maybe another Puma or something. But I don't know. It just seems the less likely decision.
I just did. You know, one of those epic units coming onto the field, so you do an alt pan to make make its announcements onto the field. I did it for a Panzerwerfer, and it was so anticlimactic. They look so crap. It's like a little man in a jeep or something. Basically, it looks like it's so rubbish.
In the blue corner, we have the ISU 152.
Exactly.
And in the red corner, we have Panzerwerfer.
Saying all that, the Panzerwerfer did just barrage. I think it hit a couple of Maxims and pushed them away. It only got 2 kills, so I did miss it, but I'm not that worried about it, to be honest. Pinata Guardsman
made
drop.
a really good push, by the way, back onto the Panzerwerfer has actually unlocked a lot of the territory for him to go and attack, which is really, really nice. He could maybe try and move something over the right-hand side now that there's a bit of a lull period. That kind of switching left to right is going to become really important when the ISU does hit the field, and I'm pretty sure that's what Talisman is sitting in his base for right now. In fact, I think it's reinforcing, so that's clearly exactly what he's going for. Walter's being very, very static for this time.
He's not a lot of static
everything.
play. I mean, I think his APM wouldn't have been over 30 in this particular game. It's been pretty low, to be fair. But he's had a good strategical game, and Company Heroes is actually like that. You can be a prepared position player, and as long as you position correctly, you can compete with somebody with really good micro.
Yeah, you can. The decision making is probably the biggest part of it, and that may be where Walter sees his eyes here. Manpower.
Oh, here we go. ISU, you're waiting for it. That's why all the units were. Let's do an alt pan like we talk about. So this is, you do the announcement for it, Dan. Quick, go.
And here it is in the blue corner, the ISU 152, the beast killer of the Eastern Front.
Nice, that was perfect because it actually braked and allowed you to announce it, like a boxer letting you kind of pad him down and make sure he's got no razor blades in his shorts or something.
Just air punch. The driver's on the side, air punching.
Yeah, that's it. Watch it back on the VOD, you'll really like that. I might YouTube it actually. So now we get to see what wins, an ISU or a Panzerwerfer.
Yeah, I think this is the moment where Walter goes, oh, oops.
Oh.
Mind you, this could be a nice Panzerwerfer strike.
Yeah, saying that, I mean, so far, round 1 for Panzerwerfer.
I mean, this is the key for him. He can still use this unit well. It's possible to, there's still things he can do. And, bringing the manpower rate down with Talisman, constantly getting rid of squads left and right will prevent any kind of protection for the ISU. And that could be the point where the Puma goes in and does some serious work. And with target weak point and also the fact it can rotate around the turret of the ISU, it's there's definitely some plays to be made in this game.
Do you remember in, was it week 2 or week 1 where it was Barton versus Love Nest? Yeah, it was week 1, wasn't it? It was where Barton beat Love Nest. Do you remember? And Love Nest had the ISU 152 on Faymanville approach. That was awesome. He used 3 Pumas, and it was like the Puma pack.
They trashed that thing, didn't they?
I can't believe we couldn't remember that in the monthly cup, because we were trying to figure out if Love Nest had lost an ESL yet, weren't we? And obviously he had at some point, we couldn't remember. And it was Barton, of course, we found out. But it was that game we cast. We bloody cast it. It was the Puma game. It's only just occurred to me a week later.
Sorry to interrupt you. I think we just saw a mine go off, and it didn't actually trigger the engine damage there.
Oh, that's SU-76 in a bad position. Panzer IV trying to flank it. Does indeed take it out through the frontal armor. We'll be seeing a button go in on the Panzer IV command tank to snare it. The ISU-152 is staying in the west, though, so it's not in any imminent danger. So, oh, the mine goes off now, Dan. Was that an anti-tank grenade?
Well, they haven't really got any anti-tank to finish it off. There's no AT guns on the field. There's just guards, really, to deal with all of this, and they're going to struggle to do that.
Big lull in activity, followed by a frenzy of destruction, seemingly. And that's how Company Heroes goes at times. ISU-152 chilling in the west. He's going to try and anchor that point for it. No other tanks for Talisman's army at the moment, though. He does have options.
Talisman does have to be careful here. He's moving the ISU over to the right-hand side now, but he doesn't want to keep it solidly on the left, because whilst it does have a nice, kind of vision advantage, losing 2 VPs on the right to the austere in a smaller, tighter space would be devastating. Do you see that pickup,
yes,
by the way?
The Pioneer got the PTRS, the Grenadier got the DP. not a nice situation. What have we got coming in here? Looks like we've got an IL-2 precision strike. Has Walther seen it?
God.
He has seen it indeed. It won't hit.
May even neutralize his own VP? No.
That's the wrong faction.
I hope that's not a thing, by the way.
No,
I
it's
don't
not
know
a
if you
thing.
can neutralize your own VPs with it, but I hope
No,
that
that's that OKW one, isn't it? I love that one, the Stuka strike.
I think you can with the Fab 50 as well if it's an opponent's one.
The territory is out of contact.
The Stuka bombing strike does it. I'm wondering if the Fab 50 does as well. I'll check that out.
Twitch chat's angry with you, Dan.
Why?
I don't know, it just will be.
They're always angry with me.
So, Talisman's in a brutal situation right now. He's got to try and push up against Walther's combined arms play, which seems to be winning. And he has a Panther on the way, so Panther hype, Dan.
What a Grenadiers just got disintegrated by the ISU there. It was the most unbelievable angle of fire as well.
Oh, I see that, yeah. It was on my camera screen, I just didn't react to it. Oh, Panzerwerfer actually making a name for itself right now. 14 kills and counting.
Again, surprising really, isn't it, that a unit that was deemed as so poor
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
makes a really good impact on there. I would say, yeah, Walther has to be very careful because he could get buttoned and hit by the ISU here.
Puma on the western flank. He's got the Panzer IV command tank rushing in the east. We've got the does indeed have armor-piercing rounds chosen. The Panzer IV command tank is trying to flank around the south of it. Though it's not going to penetrate for days. Puma's going to try. Could have waited for the Panther and all this. The Panther's going to maraud straight down that central road. ISU 152 is in difficult position, but hasn't even been penetrated once yet.
Look at the micro on these vehicles. That's incredible.
But look,
Walther's
the
playing really
ISU
well.
got one big shot in on the Puma, Dan, and it's almost out already. And the Panther hit a mine, by the way. Oh, this is brutal, Dan! If the ISU 152 goes north now, it's got the Panther. Oh, he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it. He could have gone for the killing blow there because of Fog of War. He didn't see the situation.
Yeah, it's a shame it didn't go his way there, but I actually thought he microed those tanks for the most part very, very well. He could have backed out a little bit earlier. He did overextend, but he's bringing out a lot of vehicles now, and these vehicles should be able to overpower the one ISU on the field.
Yeah, losing that Puma won't help him. Oh god, look at this Panzerwerfer. This is in a really good position. This is going to be a brutal barrage. If he knows where the repairing engineers are. Oh no, he did. Missed it. Never mind.
Strange decision.
So yeah, that mine wins games. This mine, by the way, for viewers, was here. That was the one laid by Talisman much earlier. And if that Panther had rushed in at that particular moment and not been hit by the mine, it could have been in the end of the ISU 152 in the end of the game. So very interesting situation there.
This has actually been a really interesting game the whole way. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm glad we jumped into this one.
Me too. It's definitely been an interesting one for sure. We have a bit of a lull in activity now whilst the Pioneers do their jobs. You do have one at Vet 2, so it will be a little bit quicker than you'd usually expect. Elsewhere, Talisman's going to push out now. He's got his Vet 3 guards. One of the original 3 guard squads. One did bite the bullet. Elsewhere, we've got engineers trying to cap the west. And I'm anxious to know what's happening in the other brackets. Whenever you're in a big long game like this, you're like, oh, you really. I wonder what Twitch chat knows.
Yeah, I mean, I could check for you if you wanted. To be honest, while this game's going on, I don't really care what's going on in the other brackets.
That's true. That's true. So you got the MG42 opens up, pushes away the conscripts. Elsewhere, you got Maxim trying to fend for their lives and keep the victory points in Talisman's possession, because that's the one thing he's got going for him now. Not just the ISU 152, he's got victory point control.
We are losing a sector.
Panther's repaired. The Panzer IV command tank's repaired. Next up in line on the repairers' to-do list is the half track, and Walther will have a fully functioning army.
Mechanized armor company's gone up for Talisman as well. So I wonder if that'll be a T-34-76 for that kind of protection to you know, stop all those flanks.
Hey, good call. Yeah, that would be a good one. I mean, I think an SU-85 would be overkill.
Yeah, I mean I think on the most part, unless you specifically need that kind of vehicle, players would benefit from building the multi-purpose things, like, you know, the T-34.
Oh, look at this. I mean, that's just brutal from the Panzer IV command tank. It absolutely brutalizes that maximum retreat. Looks like he's feeling aggressive. The ISU-152 is moonwalking across the base sector, being really useful, but useful as a...
I would just like to say, by the way, Talisman's KD at the moment, 92 kills for 100.
Oh, Dan, just like... Sorry, mate, we got the Panther rushing in against the ISU-152, trying to find out that rear armour. First shot, will it penetrate? Ricochets off the side armour, or the frontal armour, as Relic would like it to be statistically known. Panzer IV command tank is going to try and find the south, and no, it's going to focus on the units. ISU-152 backs into the headquarters sector. Panther's going to have difficulty trying to get through to that rear armour whilst it's rotating. Indeed, it does. Oh, Panzerwerfer for the massive barrage! Oh, dear God! That's genocide!
Oh,
Rocket artillery genocide goes in against Talisman's forces. He's got barely anything left. Panther finds the rear armour of the ISU-152, and it's sitting duck out there, Dan.
Oh my God! I can't even believe I just watched that. That was the best thing I've ever seen.
Dear God, it was unreal. I think I've had an aneurysm at my end. That rocket artillery. I think that was the best Panzerwerfer barrage I've ever seen. His army has been absolutely brutalised.
We said that unit was going to be useless. I just won in the game.
That's what we're... One more shot, the SU-85 is taking shots into the Panther, so it's unlikely it'll survive the situation, but it does take the ISU-152 out. Big explosion there. Nearly as big as when the Panzerwerfer destroyed half of his infantry army. But look at this, Stan! You've had the Panzer IV command tank find the rear of the SU-85. Panther is still alive, just about seemingly. It is currently blocked by the bunker. Oh! It might kill the SU-85 as well. Main gun destroyed. Panzer IV command tank takes the kill. What an amazing assault by Walther!
Well, I told you at the start of this that Walther is a good player, man, but I was not even expecting that from him. That was just incredible. I'd completely forgotten about the Panzerwerfer, right? And you know, to actually have to be microing around the ISU like that and still get these kind of shots off is just incredible and well played.
We've seen the Panther about to go down. An anti-tank grenade's already gone in. It's got 4 seconds left on its recharge meter. It just needs one more penetration. It's out of the game. Is the Panther, especially when the T-34-76 turns up. But yeah, Talisman. Can't see him getting back into this one.
Well, it's a nice takedown, but that's not going to do any good for him. And of course, because of the SU-85 built, he can't get another ISU out now. So he's going to go for the T-34-76 that's about to hit the field. And Walther is everything that he needs to prepare for this.
And he'll have a Panther as well soon.
Triple drain. He's only got to keep this triple drain on for 4 or 5 minutes. That's it. And really, if he sets up a strong defense right now, he's bringing out another Panther. Talisman is going to be knocked out of this tournament.
I mean, let's face it. As things stand, he doesn't stand a chance. Oh, show the Werfer kills. The Werfer is on 40 kills. It's only got veterancy 2 though.
You know when I went onto the match stats,
No!
and I was like,
No, Dan, the Panzerwerfer's going to bite the bullet. The hero unit. Oh, smoke was popped. Oh, it might survive yet. Go on, Panzerwerfer. Survive. Survive. The half-track's coming to try and save its life. The Panzerwerfer makes it around that northern cut-off garrison.
Panther's about to hit the field though, so this could go really, really bad for Talisman if he charges in here.
Oh, will it? No, it's just about making it out of the scope. And look, the Panther will come through this. It suddenly appears, finds the T-34 out of position, rear armor penetration.
Yeah, this is the end for Talisman. That's a big mistake. Oh my God.
Unlucky Talisman.
Yeah, I think he may have just thrown his only chance to get back in the game right now. Using the T-34, you know, he could have actually worked on a VP and then staggered back in for an ISU and wow.
Oh, he's trying to ram. Still not dead. Why won't you die?
Well, Walther is on a 223 kill for 107 units lost, so Talisman isn't having the best of games right now. I think he's going to be disappointed with himself here.
Now,
But
Dan,
credit to Walther, because Walter's going to potentially be the player of the week, like the upcoming for this
I
Talisman
was
surrender
about to
thing.
say I was going to quit out of it manually because it was obvious he'd lost, and when players play on with two squads, sometimes I'm like, oh for God's sake! But what a bloody brilliant game! That is going to be highlighted on YouTube. If we don't and put straight up at the end of today's casting, I'll make sure of it. That is absolutely unreal.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
that was a great game from start to finish. Everything about that game was
And
enjoyable.
we so nearly didn't cast it. And to be honest, in the back of my mind, because I think ball and hands has started, I was like, oh God, should I quit out of this? And I'm so glad I didn't. And that teaches me a lesson for not doing it. We are going to have to quick. We're trying to get onto the hands bottom game though, dude. So get
Excellent.
ready for that invite.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, what a game. That was so cool. Love it. And I feel